So today we're going to look at a topic called load balancer and what it entails. Okay, let me know if you can see my screen. Can you see my screen?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. We can see your screen.
All right, so today's topic is about a load balancer. Well, this DNS configuration is part of it, but we have to understand this part first. So I'm going to go into load balancer first before we then move backward and talk about DNS. So what is a load balancer? A load balancer distributes incoming traffic across multiple servers to ensure no single server is overwhelmed. Now, when you hear load balancer, I want you to envision the term called division of labor. So now I want to engage us. I want us to give our own two bits on what we understand division of labor to be. Understand we all know it, but I just want to make us to like converse, to engage. So Mr. Carlo, I'll start with you, sir.
Okay, sir. Thank you, sir. To my own understanding, division of labor, uh, it means giving specific tasks to different persons in order to reduce the stress on the particular person. For example, like in a company, we have different sections and different workers. So in order to reduce the stress on one person doing many things, you might divide the work and assign it to many persons.
Okay, very, very correct. That's it. Very, very correct. Like that answer, I think I'll just end there because I believe we are all going to go in that route. So thank you, sir, for the answer. Please let me know because I think I drank too much water today. So hope I'm audible because the way my voice is sounding to me is a little funny.
Yes, sir, we can hear you.
Okay, thank you. So a load balancer distributes incoming traffic across multiple servers to ensure no single server is overwhelmed. It acts as the entry point.
Sir, we can't see your screen again.
Oh, thank you. Thank you. Let me quickly rectify that. What about now? Can you see it now?
It's not sharing. Okay, it's sharing now.
All right. So yeah, it acts as the entry point for all client servers and follows them to healthy backend instances. Why it matters. Without a load balancer, all traffic hits one server. If it crashes, your site goes down. While load balancing equals high availability, traffic continues if a server fails. Scalability, add more servers as traffic grows. Performance, even distribution prevents bottlenecks. And health monitoring automatically stops sending traffic to unhealthy instances. Now, all of these that you're seeing in grammar, you're reading in grammar, I am going to explain with analogy, as I always do. Now, we have different kinds of load balancers. We have the network load balancer, we have the Nginx as load balancer, which is the one we are going to look at, and we have the application load balancer, right? So now Nginx as a load balancer. For us to configure Nginx as a load balancer, we have to perform some operations. So all of these, we are going to look at them. And the type of method we're going to use is the round robin method. So the round robin requests cycle through servers equally. So this particular method distributes traffic among servers equally. So least connection sends to server with fewest active connection and all of this. So all of these are grammar, and the reason why I'm not going through them is because these are practical stuff. And if I go through them, you might not really understand me going through them at the beginning. But once I do them and you go through this slide, I bet you will understand this. So like I said, today's topic is about the load balancer. I don't want to combine both the load balancing and the DNS. So I want us to actually understand the load balancing first, then we will then do the DNS say in our next class or so. Now let's head over to our illustration where we draw up stuffs and give instances. Now further make us understand this. Okay. Now I didn't answer random answer. Anyone can answer. How many users does Netflix have? And how many users does Facebook have? You can check. You can check the data out.
Hello, sir. What's the question?
How many users does Netflix have? Active users does Netflix have, and how many active users does Facebook have?
Facebook. I know of that of Facebook. I think Facebook
About
is a 3.07 billions monthly active user.
billion people active users. Okay. Now,
Yes, sir.
okay, let's go with that. Let's go with that.
Okay,
Let's go with that
Net,
figure.
Net, Netflix has 325 million paid subscribers,
Okay, 385 million. Now, imagine the
and
sheer
then
number. Okay, Facebook.
yes, and then Facebook has 2.7 billion
Hey, that's
Active.
content creator.
monthly years,
I don't want to work for making
2.7
content.
p.
And I won't
Yeah,
want to
it's
work
a
for making
content
content.
creator. All right, thank you, Mr. Jonathan. Thank you. All right, let's work with that number now, right? So I'm going to work with that number that you're giving us. So 365, 3.2 point something billion. Now, this is my server. This is my EC2. Now, Facebook does not run on one server. Facebook have multiple servers. Let's carry out that practice. Now, everybody, I want everyone to do this. Everybody go to your terminal, open your PowerShell, come here, search for PowerShell. When I say terminal, I mean PowerShell or command line. Everyone do this. Open your PowerShell and type in this command, ping. Ping is a network, is a command line for checking networks on the terminal. So ping facebook.com. Um, ping facebook.com. I'm going to copy mine. As you can see, I'm getting a response. I'll copy this, the 7.14438.1, and I'll paste it on the chat. Now let's see, they're going to see that different servers is going to respond to different people. We will not have one server responding to everybody here. We'll have different servers. We can have one server respond to two or three, but if you paste your own IP address, it's going to be different. Again, go to your PowerShell and do ping facebook.com and copy the IP address of the server that is responding to you. So I'm waiting. Let's carry out the exercise now. So I'll just give everybody like 3 minutes to just do that. Go to your PowerShell and type in this command, ping facebook.com, then copy the responding server's IP address and paste on your chat.
So you say we should copy which one and paste.
Copy this.
All right.
All right. So as you can see, I think we have one server responding to most of us, but I think Mr. Jonathan's own is different. Now, what we have there is at the moment we have how many people posted? We have myself, Mr. Carlo, Mr. Dekule, Mr. Freeborn, Mr. Jonathan that posted. Now, notice that I think me, Carlo, okay, Carlo on is different. Carlo on is 154, 144, 238. Then Adekule, Freeborn, and myself, we have the same server responding to us. Jonathan and Carlo have different servers responding to them. So from this, our little exercise, this everyone just give me a minute.
Please, am I the only one that cannot hear you?
It seems he's busy. He said we should give him some time.
Yeah, Mr. Jonathan, no worries. I got a, what's it called? I got a call. I need to respond to that. So, anyways, I'm back. Now, I think we got the little exercise that we did where we have different servers responding to us. So, from this analogy, we can see clearly that Facebook do not have one server working or hosting the application. They have different servers. They have different what? Servers. Now, I don't know the number of servers they have, but I bet is a lot. It's going to be a lot because their infrastructure is quite big and they need multiple servers to actually work on that. Now, let's say we have these three servers on our own application. How then do we determine which server responds to a client? Now, this is how load balancer works. Now, you're going to have you have three servers, then you have the fourth one. This fourth one is going to be the load balancer, LOB. Now, this load balancer's job is simply to distribute traffic evenly among these guys, or might not be evenly, might be partially, or might be heavily distributed to one and then partially distributed to others. Why am I saying that? For those of us that maybe went to my institution and in our lodge or in our hostel, we didn't have constant water running in the hostel. We mostly had to depend on using gallon or jerry can to always fetch water and fill up the butter or the drum, if I'm not mistaken. Now, Imagine then if you had girls in your hostel, you know that yeah, you normally go with their small gallon, like 10 liters, 5 liters, and you as a macho man, you carry like 5 liters too. Why? You carry according to how your strength reach. Am I communicating? Do we get that?
Yes, sir.
Yes.
So you carry to how your strength reach. And now let me say if your drum is about 50 liters, or let me say 75, with your 25 liters, two on two occasions you go up, you go down your for those that live in like upstairs, you go up, you go down like your drum is filled. But the girls with their 10 liters, they go like 7 times. They don't mind because why? That is that's what their strength can carry. So everybody will carry what they can carry. Now, why I'm saying that is because you might have three servers, and one server is has higher properties. This server that has higher properties will not handle the same request as this other two. This one that has higher properties will most definitely handle more requests than this one. But anyways, it's all dependent on how you configure the load balance. Now, this is how the load balancer is going to work. Now, say this is Mr. Freeman, this is Mr. Kim, this is Mr. Dekule. Is Madam Jigo on this call? Oh, yeah, Jigo, good evening. Uh, okay, Mr. Freeman, I just see a message. What about your phone? You can use your phone if your phone is okay, you're the one that texted me about the light something. I'm sorry, dear. It's the country we find ourselves in. No worry, you can always go to the recording and ask questions where you have any question. And you can say this is Madam Jigo. Now, we all use the internet at different time at our own time. Now, say Mr. Freeborn here accesses the internet. Say this particular site is let's say okay, let's use the one we did for our assignment, tanaischooling.com. Now, the load balancer, because all of these web servers, these are web servers, all these EC2s, they are all web servers. They are all connected to the load balancer. And the load balancer knows which one is busy and which one is not. Now, Mr. Freeborn comes to this site, then the load balancer will take him to the web server one. Now, the web server one will be the server to handle Mr. Freeborn. Now, Mr. Ikem accesses the same website. Then the load balancer checks, oh, web server one is busy. It now traffics Mr. Ikem's request to web server two. Then Mr. Dekule also accesses the website, and then as you can see, it checks, oh, server one, server two are busy at the moment. Then it traffics Mr. Dekule's traffic to web server three. Now, since Madam Jigo then comes to access the same website, and yes, she's accessing the website, and while she's accessing, web server one is done sending response to Mr. Freeborn. So that means it is now free. It will not traffic Madam Jigo's request. It will not traffic Madam Jigo's request to web server one. I hope this makes sense. So this is how the load balancer works. It distributes traffic. As you can see, it has distributed everybody's traffic equally amongst the web servers. This is the load balancer in a nutshell. Also, the load balancer can work as what is it called? If a particular server is down at the moment, say web server one is down. I'm trying to draw an X. Say web server one is down or is faulty at the moment. What's happening? Say web server one is down at the moment. Say it is down X. Trying to draw an X. Okay. Now say it is bad because it is bad. anybody that tries this load balancer won't traffic anybody's request here any longer. Instead, it will reroute Madam Jigo's traffic to a working server, say web server 2. Reroute Mr. Freeman's server to a working server, say web server 3. Now this is how the load balancer works. So any question? Any question?
Can you just repeat it one more time for just clarity?
All right. Okay, so I gave an instance of the load balancer acting or staying at the forefront to receive and reroute traffic to web servers. And I gave instances of people trying to access a website called Tunnel Splitting. Now, depending on this web server, user 1 tries to access tunnelscrutin.com and it routes the person to web server 1, user 2, web server 2, user 3, web server 3. Now, user 4 tries to access the website, and at the moment, web server 1 is free. It's done responding to user 1. The load balancer will traffic the user 4's request to web server 1 because at the moment it is free. Now, we say an instance where web server 1 is 40, is down, is having a downtime, meaning it can't receive any request. The load balancer will know because it's what we call health check. At every instance, a health check is carried on the instances. If the health check is not successful, the load balancer flags that instance as faulty, as bad, as down. Now, any request coming to the load balancer will know not to route traffic to web server 1. Rather, it will reroute the traffic to either server 2 or server 3. I hope that makes sense.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
You're welcome. So for this scenario, I'm going to create an instance. Now, in my scenario here, I use 3 web servers. But for the example, I use 3 web servers, 1 load balancer. Well, to save, I think we can do 3. But to save time, I'll just do 2 on my EC2. So what I'm going to have is I'm going to have 2 web servers, 1 load balancer, and we are all going to see the load balancer in action here. Now let me say this. I'm going to create a website. For this scenario, we'll be creating 2 different websites so that when the load balancer switches, we would know. But ideally, you should have one website on or one web application on all the instances. Anyways, let's get right down to it. Hope you remember how to create up our EC2. If you don't, you can use this as a refresher. So launch instance, I'll call this web server 1. I'll choose an Ubuntu machine. I'll choose an Ubuntu machine. Keep a login. I'll use QurateHQ. Network settings, I'll allow HTTPS. Storage, I'll leave it the way it is. And that's pretty much it. Now, for the number of instances that I want to create 3 instances at a go. I don't want to carry out this process 2 more times, so I'll just type in 3. That means I want to create 3 instances. So number of instances I want to create, I'll say 3. And voila, I'll launch my instance. Now I have 3 instances and I will go and view my instances. Now it's important to name your instances because at the moment we named it web server 1. So I will just come here and rename. and I'll call this web server 2, and I'll call this load balancer. I'll call this load balancer, right? So that I can explicitly tell the differences just by their name. So it's important to name your instance. Now I'm going to start with web server 1. I will do something that we know already. I'm going to configure these two to the web servers, starting with web server 1, and I will click on connect. A quick question: which web server did we use the last time? Apache or Nginx?
Apache, sir.
Apache. Okay, so today we are going to learn about Nginx. Nginx too can act as a web server and can act as more. Can act as a web server, can act as a proxy server, can act as a load balancer. So we're going to see Nginx today, and they see the same process. There's nothing difficult or that different with Apache. The installation, I mean. Madam Jigo, I've not seen you type today. What's happening? How you doing, ma? How are you enjoying the holiday? If you had one, and how did your day go? Who again have I heard speak? Mr. Kim, where did you speak today?
No, sir. Good evening, sir.
Evening, how are you doing?
Fine, sir. And you?
I'm doing good. Yeah, Mr. Kim, we've been in communication throughout today, right? For our assignment.
Yes, sir. Always
Okay. So
responding when
how?
I've done.
Oh, please forgive me. My day is like public holiday for me, and I've been sleeping all through, like swears. Apologies, but I mean the the method works. Yeah, it makes you go and look for the answer yourself.
Yes, I also asked questions too. Some of my colleagues
All right,
helped me.
all right. That was wonderful. See, there was responsibility. Apologies. But it's well understood, right?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
All right. Madam Jigo, I'm expecting your text, so please, I would love to see your text. So I will need that you're with us, man. All right. Now I'm back to my guy. So let's start. So right here, same process, sudo apt update. I remember to update all pre-configured packages. Then after that, I need to install. And after that, I need to install all my what's it called? All my what do I call this thing again? I need to install my package, which is nginx. So right here, sudo apt install nginx, and as always, we provide you with the steps on how to go about this. So let me quickly set up my notepad, and I will have the commands down for us. So we'll just have this here. So the first command you have is sudo apt update, which is used to update all pre-configured all pre-configured packages. Then sudo apt install nginx used to install nginx server. Sudo apt sudo systemctl start nginx used to start nginx server. Sudo systemctl enable nginx used to enable ng9 server. Then locate /var/www. Still the same thing, similar to same thing you find with Apache. Locate this part. Same thing you find with Apache. Okay, so I think I'll just write this one that I've done now. And I forgot my spelling. I didn't spell install properly. So have this. That is going to install. Okay, after that, sudo systemctl starts ng9x. Sudo systemctl enable ng9x. Sudo systemctl status. So this is just to check. So this is just to check the status of the server if it is up. Sudo systemctl status ng9x. As you can see, our ng9x is enabled and is now active and running. Now let's do this. I'll copy my public IP address here and I'll paste. So this is for web server 1. I'll paste and voila, I will have the default nginx package. Now I want someone to so she's strong. Is that for Madam Jigo? All right, so that's for other issues. So I want someone to quickly. So I need two people. Okay, Madam Jigo, you love typing. So I need to know, are you disposed at the moment to perform this task? Just respond in the chat, please. So Mr. Jonathan, I want you to create a website, a web page for me. Prompt your AI, create a web page and send to me. Then um, Mr. Godwin, create a web page and send to me also. You can just paste it on the chat. So please let's get on with that. Now, right here, I have configured my what's it called? My server. Now I want to host it. I want to host my own web page on it, right? And let's do this. Oh, you know what? You know what? Let's use Git. Let's use GitHub this time around since we've already launched GitHub, right? So I'll go to GitHub. I'm sure I have pushed one or two codes to GitHub. Now let's do this. Let's go to GitHub and let's get a project from GitHub so that you can see another method on how to go about this. Now let me say this. The way we did for Apache, you can simply carry out that method here. Now this is just if you have your code on GitHub and instead of you having to create everything on your server, you just want to use your GitHub, you can always do this. So let's do this method. And I think I have spicy clothing here. So this is my GitHub repository, which I'm sure you know how to get by now. Spicy clothing, I think this is for us, right? Spicy clothing, if I'm not mistaken. So I'm going to open spicy clothing and let's see. Am I coming through?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so I'm going to use my repository called spicy clothing, which I think this is for us, if I'm not mistaken. I'll come here, copy the repo link, and let's see. I want to use GitHub, so I need to install Git. I will do sudo install So this is a new method. Sudo install git, sudo apt install. Sorry about that. Sudo apt install git. Now this is going to install git for me. I'm going to cd into cd slash var slash www slash html. I want to cd into this part. Now I am in this part. If I do ls, I'm going to have that default folder there, but this is not my focus. My focus is this. I will come here. Remember, I have git installed. To confirm if git is installed, I will do git space -v. And yes, I have git installed. I have version 2.43. So right here, I'm going to run this command. How do we get a repository from GitHub class?
You go to GitHub to create a repository.
No, yeah, that is how you create. How do I? Okay, it's clone. I think maybe I didn't answer that well. I did not answer that well. I mean, git clone. I want to get the repository from GitHub. Git clone, then the repo link. I'm sure we all use this command now for our teammates work, right?
Yes,
Yes,
sir.
sir.
Yes,
No.
sir.
All right. Git clone, then the repo link, and enter. What this will do is, okay, I didn't do sudo. As you can see, I'm having permission denied because I don't have the permission to do that. So with sudo, I'm going to, and voila, I now have spicy clothings. Now, if I do this, say I do ls. Now ls, I now have spicy clothings here. And if I cd into spicy clothings, ls, I have a single folder. So what I want to do is this. I can either do this way, say I will come here. This is my URL slash spicy clothings. Because why am I doing slash spicy clothing? That's the name of the folder here. Look at the way it is spelled. Spicy hyphen clothing. If I do this, I'm going to get my web page that I have on GitHub. As you can see, this is the web page that I have on GitHub. I think it's still loading the images. So before I continue, any question?
So are you asking whether any of us have question?
Yes.
Okay. Because somebody wrote something in the chat that I did not understand it. And I'm also in that shoe too. I'm struggling to capture something. I don't know whether you can go over it again.
Yes, definitely I will. Google. I'm not checking the time difference between you sending yours and others. That's like 20 something minutes. But anyways, I'll go over this again when creating the other web server. Remember, we have two web servers, right? Now, I want you guys to understand what we are trying to achieve first. Again, I'll go over this. The main thing is for you to understand what we are trying to achieve. That's why I'm going through this slide again. Now, please everyone look at this. I have two web servers. This is web server one, and I have web server 2. In between them, I have a load balancer. Now, say user 1 tries to access the web server, he goes through the load balancer, right? Now the load balancer does what? Reroutes the traffic to web server 1. Same thing for user 2. User 2 gets rerouted to web server 2. How does this happen? This is the function of the load balancer, which we are trying to implement at the moment. Now, the load balancer also checks for health status. If web server 1 is bad, is not able to handle requests, is not able to send requests, is not able to handle, is not able to send responses, is not able to handle requests, it is bad, right? The load balancer we know because the load balancer does what we call health status at different intervals. It's not like going to check an example, the temperature, to do tests on the server to check if the server is healthy enough to handle requests and send responses. If it is not, it is going to terminate, it is going to reroute all traffic from web server 1 to web server 2. This is what we are trying to achieve. Now we are in step 1. We have just created a web server. Now instead of us using our normal method of going to our AI to generate a site and then paste the code here, we want to use what we have learned, what we have mastered during the week, which is GitHub. So what did I do? After the whole sudo apt install nginx, sudo apt start nginx, we now installed GitHub. This is the only thing new we have not done before now. Git, which you already know how to use with your VS Code. Now, for you to use this method, you should have the code or existing already on your GitHub account. So what did I do? I went over to my GitHub account and I picked a repository. I copied that repository link, and the repository I picked is a repository that we all worked together in one of our previous classes. Now I picked that repository and I came to my instance. I picked the repository and I came to my instance and look at the command. I ran git clone the repository link. I had permission denied. Why? I did not use sudo. Now I had to use the right permission and then it's cloned successfully. Now this is not going to be strange to you if you did the assignment, right? Now if you did the assignment, this is going to be very familiar to you. Now, after that, it's going to clone the repo in a folder called spicy clothing. Why is it spicy clothing? Because the repository name is what? Spicy clothing, right? So I'm going to have that. I have cloned it already. I have spicy clothing. So now what did I do? I had to cd into spicy clothing. And in spicy clothing, I can find a file called index.html. Now I copied my public IP address. I pasted it. I am not seeing spicy clothing. Why? Because the index.html is not directly inside the folder called HTML. Look at this. Right now, I am in spicy clothing, right? If I cd out of this folder, now I'm in HTML. If I run HTML, if I run ls, I'm going to have index.nginx debian.html and I have a folder called spicy clothing. The blue color here indicates that this is a folder. This page I'm seeing here, this is it. This is the index page. But if I head over to spicy clothing, CD spicy clothing, ls, I'm going to find another index.html. So how do I navigate to that part on my web browser slash spicy clothing, which I did, and then we have this came up. Am I communicating? Which I did, and this came up. So, Mr. Jonathan, does this now give you a little bit of clarity on what we have done so far? I think who asked, besides, was it Godwin or Jonathan that asked that question? Please, am I audible? Am I coming to you?
Madam Jigo that asked the question.
Yes, sir, we can hear you.
So I'm asking, does this make sense?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay, now I'm going to perform the operation again. Remember, I'm done with web server 1, so I'm going to go over to web server 2. Now I'll head over to my instance, my list of instances. Remember, I'm done configuring web server 1. I will head over to web server 2 and I will click on connect. So the same operation I'll perform for web server 2. Madam Jigo, I plan to say something. Madam Jigo. All right. So now this is why I asked us to. Come Okay. So for some reasons, failed to connect to my instance. I'll refresh again. Now, please, the naming is very important. It is with the naming that I will know that this is web server 2. Hope my screen is coming up. So it's with the naming I will know that this is what web server 2. So right here, I'm going to go over sudo apt install. See the same process, ng9x. So see the same process that we have listed here. That is what I'm going to use for this also. Sudo apt install ng9x. Then sudo apt install the sudo apt install ng9x. I've done that part already. sudo apt um not sudo apt sudo systemctl start ng9x sudo systemctl start ng9x sudo systemctl enable ng9x. Then after that, that's pretty much it. Then you check for your status of your ng9x and then locate this part. So I'm going to locate that part. cd slash var slash www slash html. Now I'm in this part. Now which method should we use? Should we use the method we know how to? That means we have to go to our AI and then copy the code from AI and paste here. Or let's use GitHub. So we go with whatever the house has to say. Which method are you most comfortable with at the moment?
AI.
All right. So let's go with the AI method. So this is web server 2. All right. And AI. All right. So I'll go to my AI. Okay. So this is my AI. I'm going to prompt whatever I want. So I'll tell it to create a simple landing page for a friend's barbering salon. Okay, so I'm going to prompt it now. Okay, so enter. I think my guy is still loading. It's taking his time. Mm, okay, I think it's now active. So I'll just paste the prompt I had earlier and let's see. Okay, I think it's my network that is doing this. Am I coming to everyone? I see my screen. I see what I'm doing.
Yeah, we can see your screen.
Yes, sir.
Yes,
I
sir.
can.
For some reasons, my prompts just doesn't seem to want to go through. So I'll send and someone please just prompt your AI and then send the code to me. Okay, mine is coming like that. Okay, so so this is what my AI gave to me. I'll just quickly copy this, like copy it. After copying that, remember I'm in web server 2 at the moment. So what do? I ls and there's a default file there called nginx debian. I need to delete that file. So sudo rom delete that file, index the file, delete it, then sudo nano index.html. I need to create my own nano file, my own index file, I mean, and I'll paste what I've copied. Remember, Control O, enter Control X, right? So after this, I will simply copy the IP address of this guy and I'll paste. And voila, I have my website. Very simple, something very simple. I didn't really give it much prompt. That's why it gave me this. Now note the how beautiful or how rich your website or the response your AI gives to you is directly proportional to how you prompt it. And why is this guy giving me gym picture for haircut? You see? So please, if you give good prompts, as you can see, my prompt was just very, very bland. Create a simple land page for a friend, blah, blah, blah. Very simple. But please do well to give your prompts, your AI good prompts to give you this. If not, you have something like this. Because tell me why I'm having a picture of weightlift in a Bible Salon's shop and does not really tell or make sense that this does not really match with what I'm doing, right? So please note that. Now I'm done with web server 1, web server 2. But if you remember from our example that we have been drawing up here, the user does not directly access the web servers, right? What does he access? The load balancer. So let's quickly have that configuration. So I'm going to do that now, the configuration. And this is my load balancer. So I'm done configuring web server 1, web server 2. Let me now configure the load balancer. So for the load balancer, I will take that and then I'll connect. So I'm going to connect to the load balancer. So please always use the name to notify where you are. This is why we name them web server 1, server 2, and then load balancer, right? So this is going to be my load balancer. Okay, so I'm going to have this. So now this is my load balancer, and I'm going to still install nginx, but this time around, I will not install nginx to act as a web server. Rather, it will act as a load balancer. So sudo apt install nginx, and I made a mistake. That's not meant to be API. That's meant to be apt. So let me just have the error and then correct that. So sudo apt. Okay, if that is good and fine. So then sudo I've installed nginx. Next command will be sudo system ctl start nginx. After that, I'm going to enable it. Sudo system ctl enable nginx. Now I have done that. Now the thing is, I'm not going to configure this guy to be a web server. I'm going to configure it to be a load balancer. Now I have the nodes here, and I'll simply just open that nodes here for you guys so that you will see. Now, now this is the part where you need to go into. You have to go into this part, etc nginx site available then default. So this is the part you need to move into. So I wrote this notes for us, and I'll just copy this and then paste in our own notes. So I'll just take this. Now you have your configuring nginx as a load balancer. Now you don't have to fret. I will explain what all of this means, right? So the next command will be cd etc, right? So you just come here, cd slash etc slash site, okay, mistake, slash site available, not site, okay, etc slash nginx slash site available, site available, right? Then in this part, you're going to see a file called default, right? You see a file called what? Default. Now, for us to read defaults, we do cat default. This is the default file. Site available default, right? So now what I want to do is simple. I want to replace this default file with my own configuration. So it's loading. Cat, remember cat is used to read a file. So that this kind so cat is used to read a file. Well, the AI is only going to AI will only respond to how good your prompt is. It's not magic. If you give AI garbage, it will give you garbage out, just as you've seen in my own prompting here. All right, so I need to come here and Please, if you look at this, it's very easy for you to mistake where you are. At the moment, I might think I'm in load balancer, but no, I'm in web server 2. So I need to be in the right place, which is what web server 1. Now, this is what this default looks like. So let me just use nano, sudo nano, then default, right? Sudo nano, then default. So this is what this file looks like. And I don't want to, it's a lot. This file here contains a lot of things. I don't want to start deleting it one after the other. So what I will just do is this. I will X here, Control X, I will leave here, and I will go and delete that file. So I need to X here. How do I X here? Very, very simple. So you go with the command, you just come and you press Control S. That is to exit. Control S. S for xylophone. So with Control X, you're going to exit this page. Now, before I continue, any question? Hello, any question? It seems like my system is hanging, so I'll just connect to this guy again. Okay, so I'll just quickly locate that part. So I've done all the configuration I need to do. So sudo etc slash mg9x slash sites available. Now I need to delete that file. So I'll do sudo rm default. Now I'll delete the file. Now I need to create my own file, which is going to be sudo nano default. So this is the configuration for me configuring this server to act as a load balancer. Now in this default file, I will come here and copy my configuration code, which is this, and I will explain what each and every one of them mean. Now look at this. Upstream web servers, it is asking you which of them do you want to act as your web server, right? So, okay, let me just copy this and paste. So I'll come here and I will paste it. So look at this. It is asking you for upstream web servers. Server, web server 1 private IP, web server 2 private IP. Now, if you have more than 2 web servers, remember from our illustration here, at the moment we have 2 web servers. So you will put the IP address of your web servers in this place. This is where you configure them. Then server should listen to port 80. Then your server name, which server is going to act as a load balancer. Then you put the load balancer's IP address here. Then all of these are just the proxy paths. It's going to maintain this proxy to HTTP, then the web server's IP address, proxy set, proxy header, proxy X header. So, but the main thing here is this part. Upstream web servers, how many web servers do you want to add to this load balancer? and what is the load balancer IP address. So let's quickly do that. So right here, I'm going to try to configure this. So first off, I need to copy the, now if you recall, they wrote private IP here, but I'm going to use public IP. So this is for web server 2. So I'll come here, copy the public IP. I'll copy that, let's see. So I'll go to web server 2 and I'll replace it. I'm going to replace that. Okay, so server, I'll paste that, the IP address. Then I need to get server one's IP address. So this is server one. I need to get server one's IP address and then I'll copy this for server one. And I will move to server one and I'll start deleting. Then I'll paste the IP address. So this is for server one, this is for server two. Now the next one is going to be the server's IP address. Recall, I'm leaving the semicolon. It's very important. If you don't leave that, it's going to give you an error. And I'll copy the load balancer's IP address. Then I'll head downward. Remember, your mouse doesn't work on the terminal. So use your arrow keys to navigate downward. So your domain name. At the moment, we don't have a domain name. So I'm going to use the public IP address of the load balancer server. Then I will paste this. Okay, now I'm done with this. So what else do I need? Okay, I'm pretty much done. But before I save, let me show you something. Before I save, I'll copy the public IP of the load balancer and paste. What am I having? I'm going to have just the default NGINX page, right? If I refresh, I'm having the default NGINX page. At the moment, it is not acting as my load balancer. So let's see. I will then need to save this. I will do Control O, Enter, Control X. I have saved it. Is that all? No. I need to test my configuration. Is my configuration successful? How do I do that? NGINX-T. This means test. And as you can see, my test failed. Why? Because I did not have permission. So I will do sudo nginx-t and voila, my text is successful. How many of us have experienced this? Now I need responses. Have you experienced where you install an application on your laptop and that app will require your laptop to restart before it starts working? Anyone?
No really, sir.
Okay. Any other person?
Yes, sir. Sometimes it happens like that.
Okay, wonderful. So same thing is applicable to this guy. We have to restart our NGINX for the changes we've made to take effect. So how do we do that? Sudo systemctl restart nginx. right? So if I restart this, meaning that the changes have taken effect. Now I will copy my public IP and look, okay, this again. Ah, look at this class. This is web server 2. And I feel like I have done this in the wrong, okay. And I was doing this in the wrong place. So please, this is very important. Always take note of where you are. So this particular thing I've been doing is not supposed to be here. It's meant to be here on the load balancer, please. So right here, I will come and restart my Nginx server. Sudo system ctl restart Nginx, right? So I need to restart my server and then copy the public IP once more. And now let's see. If you recall, this was the public IP before now, but let me copy this again and paste. Now watch what it will show to me. So I restart. Now, if I restart, what does it show to me? Notice it is showing me was server 1. But at the moment, seems like server 2 is not showing. So um I'm just going to go and check that. How do I check that? I need to open the default file and check again. I want to check which server is this. This is okay. Okay, yeah. Any question? So as you can see, it is showing us what I can view two web servers through the load balancer, right? So now I'm going to show you something. If you recall, this is our web server 2 or 1. I can't really remember. But this was how we were accessing it by running this command spicy/spicy clothing. And if you notice, can this guy just refresh? Anyways, I'm just going to copy this and send to you guys so that you can check it out on your own system or your own laptop. So this is the web server in action. So just do have to go to the site and then notice that if you refresh 2 times, it's going to show you another web page. The reason is because it is acting as a load balancer, and if this guy is busy at the moment, the next request will move to web server 2. So that is how it is working. And at the moment, it is equally distributing the traffic. No one web server is handling more traffic than the other. They are equally well distributed. So check it out and tell me how it is.
I think when you gave the prompt, you didn't put your phone number, but it attached to your phone number. Maybe because of your previous chat, you've already had a phone number.
Yeah, something like that. Something like that. So please, I want you guys to try and check that stuff out and tell me how it is. Is it working as it's meant to work? If you refresh twice, it is going to show you 2 different websites. So I would like to see it appear on your screen. I'll stop
Eh,
sharing
I,
now.
I refreshed this. I refreshed the site and it says welcome to Nginx.
Okay.
So it's not the way it was initially.
But the Barbie Salon site is showing, right?
Yeah, at first the thing was showing like I can see the landing page just the way it was when you shared your screen. So now as I refreshed it, so it was saying welcome to NGINX. So even when I refreshed the okay, then I refreshed the second time, it took me back to the place.
Okay, try it again.
So I check the message.
Okay, I'm coming. Okay. Is it a screenshot that you're posting? Is loading?
I mean, the first time I load it, it showed the first screenshot I dropped. So the second time I reload, so it displayed the landing page.
Okay. So try it again. I want you guys to try it again. So copy the IP address and try it again. Just see. Anybody can just share. Mr. Dekule or Mr. Jonathan, you can share your screen. Let's see.
No signals found. It will automatically take you to the signal detection screen. Insert the channel number for your region.
Okay.
This can be
Refresh. Just see.
TV website.
So the first time
Including
you
the
visit the load balancer, it shows you web server 1.
use the
Then you
on-screen
refresh
power.
again. Let's see.
Once you optimize the signal, firmly tuck the antenna into position. Now, your full service
Can you see
scan
my screen?
can
Or is
update
somebody sharing?
Yes.
the full service list.
I don't
The
know. I think two people are sharing at the moment. But Jonathan, I think I'm seeing your own screen.
Now, press OK to continue.
Okay,
The
so
doors that open into
look
the
at
book.
it.
This indicates you have
Look at it.
successfully installed your Go Coder. You can now activate your account by using the MyGoTV app on your
First time
smartphone.
I opened it was like this. So if I refresh, okay, look at it again. Okay, a different one. This one is even better.
It's all
Get
from one place.
motivated.
Once you have downloaded the MyGoTV app,
Let me refresh
all
again. You can
remember
see
to have your
the
dedicated
next.
password.
I
It
refresh the
is
second
possible
time.
to
Look at
Go
it.
Coder.
So
You
I
can
hope
also
it's okay.
TVAfrica.com
Yeah,
for
it's
full
okay.
details on
So this is how
how
it's meant to be.
Go
So the
Coder.
load balancer, we work for two different people. We serve, we
Love
distribute
it.
the traffic to two different web servers. Now, this is how it's meant to be. By the moment, we have equal distribution, 50-50. But in the tasks that are going to be given, you're going to be needed to make one server handle more traffic than the other. And what that will require you to do is to use your AI assistant to use your research and then ask questions. Well, today's class is more, we've done most of it before, which is converting to web server. The thing that is new today was load balancing. So I bet you if you go through the recording, it is going to make more sense. Any question?
Please, Godwin, mute your mic. Oh, mute your mic. The noise is so much.
Okay, Jigo, yours is showing the same thing. Same thing as, is it Mr. Rekule's own or yours is showing the same thing as my own or Mr. Jonathan's own? Which of us own is it all the same thing as? So I'm asking any question. I'm asking any question.
I don't have a question. No.
Okay, that's good. Well, I bet if you get this recording, you're going to become clearer. Like that just was going to be. And in the absence of no question, I want to call it a night, and we'll do the cutting here for today. Do want to have yourself a wonderful Easter celebration, and I'm going to see us on Tuesday. Good night,
Thank you,
everyone.
sir.
And okay, please expect your feedback on your assignment. Tomorrow I'll be making a travel. So by Sunday or tonight, I will go through those your assignments on GitHub. So expect your feedbacks and work towards them. Have a good night,
All
class,
right.
everyone.
All right, sir. Good night.
Good night, sir.
Good night. Okay, Jigo, I have seen your phone. Thank you, Jigo. Thank you. Thank you, everyone. And again, thanks for always showing up. I really appreciate it.